Testing on my 65 gallon and my 50 gallon over there. Don't really have any big issues today. Just want to get some parameters and see what's going on. Last week I had a big nitrate spike in my 50 gallon and it was kind of scary. And then I remembered I did a big feeding the night before, and because I have a few different fish in there, I can kind of expect that. In my 65 gallon I did notice that a few of my cichlids were swimming irregularly and had some milky poopy there. And so I'm going to be getting some parasite care, taking a trip over to PFK today to get some parasite care and see which is the best option, because I don't want to remove the cichlids from this tank and put them all into the hospital tank, and I don't want to try to figure out if only one of them is infected. So we're going to be attempting to treat the whole tank today. This is 65 gallons. If you have anything 100 and above, I would suggest getting a hospital tank, because treating that particular size would be kind of expensive. So again, we're going to be headed over to PFK, which is Professional Fish Keepers for me, over here in Margate, and we're going to see what is the best option for parasite care for my cichlids, and that's our episode. Basically, we're going to be heading over to Professional Fish Keepers. These guys I've been dealing with since I got in the hobby, and I know they're about sick of me, but you know, they can't be sick of me because this is a business and this is what they do. So I come in here and just ask as many questions as I can, and it's 5 minutes away from my house. All right, guys, so we're here at Professional Fish Keepers. I'm gonna mask up and head in. All right, so we're here at Professional Fish Keepers, and again, we're gonna get that parasite care and see what they recommend for us for our cichlids. Are the best. So definitely gonna hear what Steve's got to say about the internal parasites. They've got some general care here, but I mean, I'm not really sure what type of parasites they have, and as far as I know, you can't be, you know, there's no real way to do it unless you get it lab tested. So again, I'm just gonna see what options we have here at Professional Fish Keepers. And I mean, I love this store. It's like, you know, a kid in a candy store for me, but yeah. Professional Fish Keepers, and we got some really good information as always. I'm gonna try Expel P from Fritz. They do also have the general care. What was it called now?
General Cure.
Yeah, the General Cure. They also have the General Cure, but said Fritz gives us better results, and we really only have to do a 25% water change after we start seeing some of the parasites drop out. Again, I'm not sure if it is parasitic, but my fish are excreting white poopy, and the best remedy sometimes is prevention. So I'm gonna go ahead and dose my whole tank. It's telling me to use 1 packet for every 10 gallons and to repeat that method after another week. So, you know, we're gonna get back, we're gonna test our water, make sure we know our parameters, and we'll go from there. Also picked up a few things for the fish, some bloodworms, which I usually feed my bollas as a treat, and then gonna try to switch up the diet on the cichlids here with these cubes from Daphnia. Said he was getting really good reviews on that, but then again, it could be just to sell the product, I don't know. But of course, we're just gonna give it a try. Like I said, I hate when my fish are feeling away or things seem irregular in the tank, so you know, give it a shot and see how it works. A couple of days ago, I did try dosing the 65 gallon with some Epsom salt. I found that to be helpful, but you know, we're gonna try our Fritz to see if we can provide some fast relief from parasitic diseases. So guys, we're back from PFK, Professional Fish Keepers, for those who don't know. And again, we're going to be doing water testing on my 65 gallon. I did manage to pick up some Expel P from Fritz. This is really supposed to be good for fast relief of parasitic diseases, which I do suspect is going on in my 65 gallon Malawi cichlid tank. They were kind of erratically swimming a couple of days ago. I looked it up on YouTube. I found a channel that was talking about dosing the tank with Epsom salt, which seemed to help. But again, I wanted to be sure, add some Fritz Expel P after I'm done with the water testing, and that way, you know, treat the fish if need be. So we're going to begin with our freshwater master test kit. These things are good to have always, especially when dealing with freshwater or saltwater aquariums. Just water testing alone helps you understand the parameters of your tank, keeping your water as clean as possible and your fish healthy. So you always want to actually, I alone do a weekly test, just so I can understand what's going on with my nitrate, what's going on with my ammonia, and the different things that can happen inside a tank. All right, so here we actually have our different solutions to perform our test. We have our nitrate test here. We have our pH solution, and for our high range pH solution, we also have our nitrites, and we have our ammonia test here. They were so gracious to give us 4 vials. And if you don't know, each vial is going to have a little marker, a little fill marker here. You're going to require 5 milliliters of water from your aquarium to get the most accurate test results as possible. And today we're only going to be looking at our nitrites and our nitrates and our ammonia. I'm not going to perform our high range pH test or any of our pH tests, because on my tanks I do have pH monitors. I did purchase from Amazon, made by Milwaukee, and as long as I keep those calibrated, I'm pretty confident in the readings I get from those monitors itself. So I don't really perform pH tests. I'm going to really be doing our nitrites and our nitrates and our ammonias, which are very important to me at this moment. So we're going to be headed back over to our 65 gallon and attempting to collect 5 milliliters of water for our vials here. Don't worry yourself if you can't get this in one shot, because I've been doing this for 2 years and I still haven't perfected the scoop to drop there, the scoop and drop. That's close enough. Usually takes about 2 tries. I've seen guys get it on 1. But again, you know, this hobby's all about patience. Oh, man. Got those 4 there. And again, when performing these tests, guys, you want to make sure that you read the directions and follow the instructions carefully so you can get the best and most accurate test results as possible. And for this one, again, we're going to be skipping past our pH and our high range PS, and we're going to go right to our ammonia. And in this pamphlet here, it just tells you what the ammonia test is, why we test for ammonia, the tips for testing, and the directions. So here, it's going to tell us to fill our test tube with 5 milliliters of water to be tested, which we already did. And we're going to be adding 8 drops from ammonia test 1, holding the dropper bottle upside down in a completely vertical position to assure uniformity of drops. Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to be adding 8 drops from test solution 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they want us to cap this and shake vigorously for 5 seconds. And we're going to wait 5 minutes for that test, that ammonia test, to develop while we perform our nitrite. All right, so we're going to be performing our nitrite test. Nitrite is actually produced in the aquarium by our biological filter, and our biological filter converts ammonia into nitrite. Any high levels of nitrite or nitrate in your aquarium is harmful to the fish. So again, that's why having this test kit is important, and understanding the parameters of your tank, whether it be freshwater or saltwater. So we're going to be... We've already filled with 5 milliliters there, and they want 5 drops on the test solution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to cap this one and shake for 5 seconds also. And we're going to let that sit for 5 minutes while that develops. And on to our final test, we're going to be performing for nitrates. Same thing with nitrite. Nitrate is produced by the biological filter, and as that whole conversion process is going on, any high levels of nitrite or nitrate are harmful to the fish. So they're going to want 10 drops of our solution number 1. And as I said before, you want to make sure you read these directions carefully, because they're going to want us to add that and then vigorously shake. That number 2, or bottle number 2, for 30 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And they're saying that this step is extremely important to ensure accuracy of test results.
Several days later.
So we're going to do the same, 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then shake this for 1 minute. All right, so we have our nitrate here, have our nitrites here, and we have our ammonia readings here. Go ahead and cap these. And again, guys, just having one of these test kits is really helpful in this hobby. In the beginning, I was doing a lot of running back and forth to the pet store, having them test, do the water quality testing, which PetSmart does a great job. But again, you know, gas, time, and just knowing everything when I want to know it, having this test kit is very important. So again, I do recommend having a Freshwater master test kit. They're about 25 to 30 bucks. I bought this one at Professional Fish Keepers. So, you know, they're not all that expensive, and they're just a good tool to have in your arsenal. So as we wait for these test results to develop, we can start reading our ammonia here. And I don't know if you can see the colors as they develop. There's our ammonia, there's our nitrite, and our nitrates, which is still developing. And we're still not in bad ranges at all for any of these as they develop. Even with the ammonia test. We're still at 0 parts per million. Our nitrates are still developing, but it looks like our nitrites are at 0 parts per million. And that's also very important because that is a slightly planted aquarium tank. So with our nitrites, I don't like to see it all the way down to 0, but you know, again, you know, that's really how it goes for right now. And my whole thing really is just to understand what's going on before I start dosing this tank with the Fritz and start treating my fish for parasites. And usually on a much larger scale, you want to isolate that fish into a hospital tank. But I suspect that if one fish has it, then all have it. And again, it's only 65 gallons. It only costed me about 15 bucks, $16 to treat that whole tank, which I'll be doing later because at that point I would have to remove all the activated carbon. And you know what, matter of fact, we can do all that while we're here. So again, right now we're looking at 0 parts per million on our test. That's very good. I don't have to worry about my water quality at all, and I can get right into dosing the tank with the Fritz and getting some relief for those fish in there if it is a parasite infection. And Fritz itself is telling us to use 1 packet of XPLP per 10 gallons of water, perform a 25% water change, taking care to remove excreted worm parasites after 24 hours. So we're going to be using 1 packet of this per 10 gallons of water. This is about a 65 gallon tank, so I'm going to be using about 7 packets just to be sure. It is also telling us to use a hospital tank, which is recommended, but there are no water changes or pH or temperature adjustments necessary if readings are in ideal range. So again, you know, if our freshwater pH is between 6.4 and 7.6, and our salt water is between 8.1, and our temperatures are 68 degrees to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, then those should be ideal ranges for your aquariums. So again, I'm going to get down to removing some of that activated carbon. Start dosing this tank, and back in a sec. All right, so the directions is telling us to remove all activated carbon from the system for best results. I do have my hang on the back here, and I do have my canister, which I just turned off while we treat this tank. This filter here should treat up to 65 gallons, no problem. So we can actually just leave that running. I'll just be removing my bio bags from the system, which do also contain activated carbon. I'll just leave some type of filter in there for now, just so the water doesn't get all nasty up for the next 24 hours, because that's how long it takes to treat the system with the Fritz. And then we're going to have to do a 25% water change after 24 hours, because you're going to see all those little parasites supposedly expelled from the fish and kind of floating around in the substrate. So again, we're going to be preparing for this. This actually tells us to kind of add directly into the tank, but I don't like to directly add anything to the tank, even with the food. So I'll just take out a scoop of aquarium water here. And we can go ahead and just add those 7 packets into the water. I'm just always afraid that the fish are just going to try to eat at it or peck at it, and it shouldn't be harmful to them. I mean, it should help them, but still, you know, I mean, if I dissolve it in water, then I kind of feel a little bit better. I usually just take out a scoop of aquarium water and let it kind of dissolve in that. So we'll just be dissolving those 7 packets into this cup of water, and then we'll add that to the tank. Now, when I was at Professional Fish Keepers, I had a choice between grabbing the Fritz Expel P or the General Cure, and there was no real big recommendation from Steve at Professional Fish Keepers. I mean, he kind of recommended both because they both do kind of like the same thing, but he said he was getting some great reviews on this Expel P, and by reading the directions, it seemed like it was a little bit less work using the Expel P versus the General Cure. They both actually treat a wide variety of parasitic diseases in fish, and as far as I know, like I said, there's no real way to determine which parasite the fish have, or if they have parasites at all. But I just want to be sure. You know, when my fish, his fish's abdomen seems kind of bloated. Maybe he's getting bigger, but you know, again, this is just all to be sure. Do that. Make sure we get all that in there so the dosage is correct. And as the directions say, we should see some results in 24 hours. I'll be keeping a close watch on it. It is 5 packs. Keeping a close watch on it. See if I see any parasites. Shut down one of those filters so you see a lot of debris kind of going everywhere, but it's cool for the benefit of the long run. Go ahead and dissolve that. And go ahead and drop that right now. Alright guys, so we've already added our Fritz Expel P. We're going to do as the directions say and wait out 24 hours. I'm going to do another water change on it, a 20%, at least to kind of get some of those parasites that may fall out of the fish over the next period, the next couple of hours. And again, you know, I just keep you guys posted on what's going on inside with my 65-gallon and my Malawi cichlids. I actually really love this tank. I really love keeping cichlids, and it really hurts me to know or to feel that something's going on inside one of my tanks. And that's all in the hobby. You're going to end up, you know, watching over your tanks, getting to know your fish, getting to know their mannerisms, and you know, you just get a kind of feel of something that's going on. And the good thing is they have a wide variety of products that can help in those situations, but you'll never know what's going on if you don't start out with a basis. And that's really the point of having a master test kit. You want to always know the parameters of your fish tank before you know how to treat your fish. So until next time, if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so, and tank it easy.